I normally do not film a video at all in this room. Or actually, no, I'm lying. I do film my videos right over there, my educational ones, but I haven't in a while. And this is the table where I always do my pick a cards on my YouTube channel. If you guys have been on my YouTube channel or follow me. But there was a really big raw download that came through, aka wisdom nugget, that I had to record and just get my phone out, whip it out, set it up, and hit record for. And it's personally something that I was just moving through. I feel like I'm still moving through it emotionally, spiritually, energetically, all those things. It is so normal when there's something awesome coming into your life to be just as equally as terrifying, to be just as equally as anxiety inducing. And the thing though with that, what the truth, the fact that I just expressed is that, sorry, my low power mode just popped up, but is that the fact that those two things can coexist with each other, that makes the beauty, that makes the magic possible. Let me explain. Your fear and the thing that is exciting are on two sides of the same coin. How is the coin getting flipped over though? Right? It's by us, it's by the person. An alarm just went off, but I'm going to continue. It's by the person that is in control of that coin in that moment, and it's you, because that's your coin. That's your fear and excitement. We get to choose which side of the coin wants to be seen, wants to be acknowledged, wants to be looked at the most. Where we want to put or bring our attention towards the most, we can control that. It is extremely hard to, though, when we're starting out at the very beginning doing something like that, because let's say most of what you've lived through in your life, most of what you know is your old narrative. You're more familiar in the past way of living than you are in the new. And that's absolutely okay. When you feel like you were going through a moment in your life where you were really getting a good grip on like being able to kind of calm the mind, be more mindful. Sorry, I was yawning. Be more in the present, be more, I guess, self-aware. And then out of nowhere, it feels like all over again in the middle of your progress with that, the anxiety hits you all over again. Maybe it's because there's something new. Maybe it's because there's something that's expanding in your life. And wherever there's expansion, right? The anxiety, the old narrative is going to try to come back up, especially if you're in the midst of your self-growth journey, which we all are, because we are all here alive and watching this video. We're human, right? The self-growth journey never stops. But okay, let me give you an example. For me, my deep healing journey officially started, I think 6-ish years ago. I am 25 years old, okay? So let's say I remember a good chunk of my trauma from like 7 years old, starting 7. Let's just say starting 7 years old or 6 years old, okay? So that would be 25 minus 7 would be like 18 years. I'm just gonna pretend, let's pretend that I did the math right, okay? So 18 years of my life, I still remember most of. I still remember the trauma. I still remember the struggle. I still remember the turmoil, the pain, the melancholy, the isolation, the self-abandonment, everything, okay? My nervous system remembers that. My shadow embraces that because that shadow was birthed through those 18 years to protect me in some way, shape, and form. But then 6 years of me healing and working on that, bettering myself and befriending the shadow, facing the demons, facing the wounds, facing the trauma, and still choosing to grow and say my truth anyways. Not letting the fears control me, not letting the anxiety control me, right? I flipped my coin for those 6 years. That isn't to say, though, that those 18 years of my life aren't going to screw with me throughout my years of my healing and self-growth journey forward, until at least I surpass 18 plus years in my healing journey. That's a lot of time. So I want to make something clear. It is okay to be human, because that's literally all it is. We are going to have moments in our life where we are terrified and scared shitless, and we are still in the healing and self-growth journey. We're going to be confused. We're going to be like, what is going on? I'm here all dainty and healed, and I should be doing great for myself. You are. You're doing fabulous. Okay, you need to understand there are people that haven't even started their healing journey that are still suffering, and maybe they're still stuck in that trauma state and mindset for 30 plus years. You're showing up right now. If you're still listening to this video, you're doing something right. The version of you from 3 years ago is crying, looking at this version of you in awe right now because of how much you've accomplished since then. Your future self is thanking this version of you because of what you're doing right now to be in the future. Give yourself more credit. You're not meant to be perfect, because perfection doesn't exist. It's literally a concept that us humans created to exceed personal expectations of whatever the heck perfection means to you. It wasn't a concept that existed before we came into the picture. And that's how we know that it's not real. It doesn't make sense, and it's never meant to be a construct that is meant to be measured. It's just myth. It's mythology. And so the reason why I felt called to share that is because I was having a moment of frustration with myself, with so much newness coming into my life. And it's newness, it's expansion that I was asking for. I was manifesting this like crazy for the last 4-5 months. I was in this process of trying to go get this thing, and now it's here, right? And I'm like, oh my God, it was here. And I had a moment for like 2 hours when it happened. And I was like, yes, like this is great. I gotta call my friend and do the happy dance with them. And I was like, okay, great. And then I settle and I start hearing, but what if this, what if that, what if this, what if that in the back of my head. And I heard my voice, my shadow coming through. And she's trying to take the reins. And it was like moving into a weekend. I think it was like a Thursday where I got the good news, and then it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give myself the weekend to calm myself down. Let's disconnect from the thing. Then Monday came. Today's Monday while I'm filming this. And I wake up, I'm ready to start my day, but my energy, my spirit isn't ready to start my day. It's not ready to show up right now. It's not ready to get ahead with my pick of cards and start recording, because today I personally had a goal this month to get myself 2 to 3 months ahead on schedule with pick of cards so that I could start focusing on the new expansion thing that's coming in. And I was like, oh my God, I'm almost to my goal, and I'm very excited for that. But there's also a lot of stress. There's also a lot of pressure and expectation that I'm putting on myself. And now I'm realizing, am I functioning from the healed 6 years version of me? Or am I functioning from the 18? The one that wants to control. The one that wants to feel like no matter what happens, I need to do everything in my power to make sure I know what happens. Or else, if I don't, everything's going to crumble. And I'm going to fail. It's not going to work out. I'm not going to be good enough. See the difference? Turns out, this entire weekend, I was trying to distract myself. I did my nails, so I'm trying not to distract myself from the fear. When I just needed to give myself a pep talk, when I just needed to turn my eyes inwards and just be like, Bridget, I got you. We can do this. We're capable of more than we realize. Look back on the last 4 months. back at how much you have accomplished in comparison to who and where you were at with your business, with your goals, with your mindset 3 years ago. You're not the same person. Because you're not the same person, you know better than any other version of you right now to know that what you're feeling is the uncomfortable process of being in that in-between state before the new comes in and you're not in the old anymore. You're preparing for the new. All I had to do was ground. All I had to do was move my body and do some somatic release. All I had to do was listen to what wanted to come up. Because that's the side of the coin where awareness and healing and excitement can come through. But little did I know, the more I disconnected, the more that coin slowly started to go back to anxiety. The spirals don't stop until you look at them. They won't stop until you validate them, you recognize them, you reassure them, and you show that exact anxiety spiral that you will always be the one in control of how long it can get, how long it can keep going, and when you want it to stop. And you know exactly what you need to tell yourself right now to help it stop. You have secret knowledge in you already. But that's where the trust needs to come through. That's where you get to look at life through the lens of unconditional love. The only way you can look at life through the lens of unconditional love, you can learn how to look at the lens of yourself with unconditional love. So just felt called to share that. I'm going through it right now, okay? Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts were on what I just shared. And I'm sorry if it's not that aesthetically pleasing, this video, but I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.